Extraction stations.
Hello and welcome everybody, this is King Corix, and today we are flying around in the definition of controversy. That's right, it's the FDR. I am playing the ship today because this game was to do 180,000 damage in a single battle in an aircraft carrier for the dockyard missions. And this is quite a few games into the day, and it's a very good game. Now, some of you would argue, well, of course it's a good game, that's an FDR. And I'm actually going to talk about the FDR a little while into this game, because at the end of it, we're trying to fly around, and the planes are slow, so we have time to talk. So, that first point being said, the FDR has slow planes. I build my FDR mainly to increase the speed of the planes. They already hit so hard and they already have so much HP that whenever you can build for speed, build for speed. So we're actually going to attack this DD at the beginning of this game because it's not often that DDs have their AA on and give me enough space to attack them, so I figured I'd take that opportunity. Because the planes are so slow, I like to use the speed boost, especially for the rocket planes early on when you're dealing with a lot of AA, to get myself out of the AA fast, instead of to, fly to the target fast. So the cooldown timer is over, we're flying back in. I'm thinking about hitting this Edinburgh, but we're here for damage, and that North Carolina looks like a much better target. Reticle is brought down to its smallest size. I make the strike, and that was about 11k with 2 fires. Oh yes. So I'm once again going to speed boost as quickly out of the AA as I possibly can. North Carolina has used his damage control on those 2 fires, and this is the thing to consider with the FDR, is it is a lot like the British battleships. Because there is the cooldown timer, which lasts for about as long as a damage control does, by the time an FDR comes back around to attack you, your damage control is going to be down. So you might as well wait until the last attack is over. Otherwise, you might get 2 more fires set on you with the last pass. I think that one was about 13,000 damage with 2 fires. So we're already up to 30k with the first few waves of rocket plane attack, which is a good start for us. Second wave, bringing out the torpedo bombers, and I'm going to just slowly get myself into battle. So, the first thing, well, I would never be able to dodge those rockets. Well, you're not going to completely dodge. The idea is to mitigate. And I can tell you as a CV player, the first thing, as I mentioned, with the damage control. The second thing is to turn into rockets. It is, I think, intuitive that people seem to want to turn away from them. I can tell you that when you turn away from my rockets, I will land far more of them on you and do far more damage than if you turned into them. I'm aiming high with the rockets. I'm not aiming for your hull. I'm aiming for your superstructure. When you turn into me, you decrease the distance. Okay. So many battleships to strike. I've decided on this North Carolina, and we're flying out of that. Many targets of opportunity on this side, but that North Carolina seemed particularly oblivious, which he seemed to be, as we land all 8 torpedoes, double flood, and that flood is sticking. And now we painfully wait. Something I did not realize is that Shimakaze in that smokescreen, that was his AA. That guy's going to be have a second chapter in the story. So for this one, I was thinking about setting up on the Wu Jing, but I decided, they're not killing that North Cal fast enough for me. I'm going to go strike him, and right as I make that decision, Richelieu. Well, that's 1 kill stolen. That's okay, that's okay. Yep. We are now... Oh, there's the Shimakaze out. Now, FDRs, or at least my FDR. I don't often go for destroyers. The ship's not very good at striking destroyers. I would say the dive bombs are probably the best tool for it, but even they can struggle. So FDRs can do it, but if you're screaming at an FDR to go and spot the destroyer, and he's not doing it, that's because he's doing far more for the team, striking the cruisers and the battleships that are just sitting around. Well, I would hope. There's a difference if it's just a bad FDR player who's not doing the damage that he should be doing. But anyway. So, land a few more torpedoes on that key. We're up to 95k now. Finally on the third wave, the dive bombers. We are currently down on ships and down on points at this point. And my whole team is kind of sliding over to the left side here. You know, I'm not too terribly concerned with winning this battle. As I said at the beginning, I'm mainly here just to get that damage mission done. Which is why I've been over on this left side farming these 3 battleships. So we're slowly setting up for this. And I'm going to make this Wujing, and for any of you who don't know, the Wujing is just an all-Sals copy-paste Pan-Asian battleship. So he doesn't have a whole lot of armor to protect himself from any sort of bombs or rockets. He is also not maneuvering. That's going to make this strike very easy. Probably held onto those bombs just a little too long, but we actually got all 8 on him. 6 did damage. Set 3 fires on him with that strike. Just going to wait for this timer to come down again, and then we're going to set up for another attack. So here I begin waffling these decisions. Do I want to try to kill the key, or do I want to do more damage on the Wujing? Initially, I set up at the key, but at the last minute, I decided to change my mind, mainly because I just don't want to lose planes to his handful of fighters that he has up. But as I'm doing this, of course, the Wujing is losing health at an incredibly rapid rate, and by the time I get set up on him, he's basically dead. So we switch back to the key. All this time I've been flying around, and of course, the FDR, I haven't been losing a whole lot of planes. He maneuvers a little bit, but it's not really enough, and we hit him with 5 out of the 8. His fighters do engage, I recall those. We didn't set any fires. The Wujing dies, and the key is now very low on health, so hopefully my team members can finish him off. As right now, I am already eyeing up the Zhao and the Kerfurst behind him. Something that FDR players, if you own the FDR, or are looking to own the FDR, I will suggest is you have to be far more prepared. The planes are slow, so you have time to prepare, but if all of a sudden I needed to switch sides, it's far more economical for me to recall these planes and put up a different squadron instead of just flying all the way to the other side of the map. So usually I have a side of the map picked out that I want to stay on until it is won before I switch sides. So we're lining up the Zhao, and he's making a bad maneuver at this point. He is choosing to allow an easy strike for me instead of showing his side to my team members. So I was thinking he was going to turn into those, which is why I dropped them further back. But he's going to turn away from them. 4 torpedoes. We get a flood. Is he going to die to us before somebody else can finish him off? And the Richelieu steals another one from me. We're up to 137k with no kills at this point, but we've got a lone Kerfurst. As what I was going to say as well, the reason I had dropped those torpedoes further away is I thought that the Zhao was going to be smart and he was going to turn into the torpedoes. You mitigate far more damage turning into attacks instead of away from them like he did. We're actually going to get such a good hit on this Kerfurst. We're going to land all 8 torpedoes. We get 1 flood and a Confederate there. I do have to be aware of the fact that the Ostergotland is in our cap. He's kind of diving in and out of the border. Edinburgh just kills our gearing. That was who was keeping him off of it. But again, I'm just looking to farm damage. I'm so close to finishing this mission. This was my 7th attempt at it. So yeah, and some would argue that, well, of course, the FDR's torpedo planes are special in the sense that they can 360, no-scope you. Well, yes, that's true, but again, if you're just aware that the FDR's planes are near you and you actively maneuver, and by maneuver I mean turn into the planes, not away from them, you will mitigate a whole bunch more damage. You won't take 8, 7, 6. Instead, you'll be looking at 3 or 2 torpedoes, which, when you're fighting an FDR, I would think would be a win, because we're looking to land all 8 and not just 3. So we land 4 on him, no floods. If you are paying attention, my carrier is still detected by a ship. That Ostergotland is outside. I just got a spotted ribbon. Oh, that's a Shimakaze. And unfortunately, yep, okay, so we see the mini-map. That was me clicking off to the left of my ship. I'm making my ship turn into his. I'm actually still at full speed right now, believe it or not. So my ship is turning into his hard. He's right on top of me. I'm looking back. I'm waiting for the torpedoes. There they are. This is looking like this is going to kill me. He dumps, looks like 10, getting the warning, waiting for them to hit. Did that beeper just stop? Yeah, that beeper just stopped. He just missed all of his torpedoes on me at point blank. So that's interesting. Well, that's giving me plenty of time to finish farming this curve first. Drop those bombs. That's not a great drop. You see as he's turning there, he's kind of sliding out from underneath it. We do get 4, we set a fire, and we get the high caliber for that one. So we're just going to wait and set up for this again. Our secondaries are still opening up on that Shimakaze, and there we go! Close quarters expert on a Shimakaze with an FDR. Yeah, sorry about that one, buddy, but I think your prestige just dropped for that one. So, my short little mocking session now over, I'm going to turn around and sit up on this curve first. Now, if he had continued maneuvering, his life expectancy may have been a little bit longer. As of now, he's actually still on fire, and he's sailing straight for us. Set up that drop a lot better. That one's going to land right amidship. All 8 bombs, 6 do damage, set 1 more fire on him. So far, our only kill is the secondary kill on that Shimakaze, but that's going to change, though. 14 seconds on this cooldown. I haven't looked back yet. Oh, yeah, he's weak. He's got multiple fires burning. He's down to 4K. Thunderer, do not steal my kill. Don't. Burn faster, first. Burn faster. Thank you. There we go. That's kill number 2. Henri goes down. I'm setting up for the Edinburgh at this point, but Wooster's got shots coming in on him. I set up the attack. I'm not quite sure if he's going to get him. He actually does. Gets the double strike for that one. Good job, my friend. So, I'm not going to drop these. Don't want to waste them. By the time I get to the next ship, that cooldown's going to be over. I'm slowly going to try to turn my ship towards the cap. Just want to get myself closer. Oh, we got a North Carolina here. We'll take the time and drop him. Get this. So he's already maneuvering. He's turning broadside to me. That's the best option. Oh, he took a big hit from the Stalingrad, I think, there. Still, I've already hit my damage mark. I've got 2 kills. I'm not really looking for this one. Just trying to get a bomb or 2 to drop on him. Put it right on the edge. RNG likes to pull the bombs to the edges. And, oh, hey. Ooh, 4 hits and a kill. RNG was with me on that side. Also, the stupid autopilot backing my ship up instead of just turning it around. Okay, now there's just the Richthofen left, and we down to a handful of torp bombers, and it's going to take us a long time to get there. So, as I had kind of mentioned throughout all of this, there are a handful of things you can do to really mitigate an FDR's damage output. And most of these involve just turning into the attack wave instead of turning away from it. Turning into the rockets, turning into the torpedoes can really help throw the aim off, and anything that does hit you is going to be significantly less than how it was set up. The other thing to take into consideration is nothing is more tantalizing delicious than a ship that is sitting still, island hugging. You Stalingrads and Jean Bars and Des Moines that just love to park yourself next to an island and bow tank or hide are just juicy targets. Our torps are slow. The bombs take a long time to fall, and even the rockets take a long time to reach their target. A maneuvering ship is a ship that doesn't get 20k knocked off of it in a single strike. Stationary ship is a ship that gets farmed and killed in about 3 minutes. Also, something to consider for all the FDR and Midway, and maybe this applies to Audacious, but I need to look up the penetration of the bombs for Audacious. Richthofen does not have an armored deck. It's sort of armored. I don't know if it will bounce battleship shells. It'll certainly bounce most cruiser shells, but it can't shatter HE bombs, which you will see momentarily after I make this torpedo run. This torpedo run is also a halfway decent example of a 90-degree turn. I set up parallel. I wait for the reticle to close. Waiting, there it goes. And now I make my turn. Unfortunately, he's actually coming to a stop here, which I didn't catch until very last minute. So we're going to land 5 on him instead of all 8. We're going to bring the dive bombers up for this one. Yep, there's the 5. We're up to 257,000 damage. Now we begin the slow process of flying these dive bombers over there. And I've got to tell you, I'm feeling pretty greedy about this one, because I know I can do about 30k to that Richthofen, especially if he's stationary with these dive bombs. I'm just kind of hoping I get there before the Stalingrad and the Worcester can. So yeah, as more and more FDRs, as you will inevitably find, keep in mind those simple tricks to mitigate damage. The ship is very powerful, and if an FDR wants you dead and the player is good enough, he's probably going to kill you. But you can waste his time. And this is something that I've actually said to my clan members a lot during the last clan battle season with tier 10 carriers, is they looked easy to target. And that's something that CV players, especially good ones, look for a lot, is something that's easy to hit. Don't make yourself an easy target. Targets that are maneuvering, targets that are in AA blobs are not appetizing. CVs don't want to go for them. And if they do, if they really commit to killing you, a maneuvering ship, in an AA blob of ships, yes, they'll probably kill you eventually, if they're really good. But you will waste their time. You're essentially allowing the 11 other members of your team to fight unopposed. So here we go. We're setting up this last attack. Richthofen stationary, he's got 14k. We're going to drop that one right up on front of his nose, and whack. There we go. Final kill in. 4 kills. We got a Confederate, a high caliber, and a secondary expert kill as well. 268, almost 269,000 damage. 4 kills. No plane shot down, but a whole bunch of missions completed, which is what I set out to do at the very beginning. When you take a look at the team lineup, we finished second in an aircraft carrier with just over 2,000 base EXP. The Worcester ahead of us, 3 kills, 25 planes shot down, 2,180. He had a great game. Compliments to you, my friend. Compliments to the Stalingrad as well, who shot down 43 planes there at the end. So yes, consider all the things that I kind of went over here. The most effective thing that you can do as a player is play aircraft carriers. I am going to, in the future, continue putting out aircraft carrier episodes with the express purpose of showing you CV gameplay. because as you play aircraft carriers, you start to understand how they think, the targets you want to go after. It is immeasurable experience that you can gather playing aircraft carriers that you can then use to fight against them. I have never felt like an aircraft carrier was carrying a game or outplaying me since I've started focusing my play on aircraft carriers, because I understand now how they operate, how they think, and what they're looking for. And I can counter that from the very beginning of the match. Once a carrier is attacking you, you have very little countering left to do. It's all maneuvering. But at the beginning, if you know what a carrier is thinking, you can psychologically outplay almost any good CV player. And if they're not good and they're throwing planes at you, well, you beat them anyways. So congratulations. But thank you all for joining me for this game. It was a very good FDR game, and I wanted to share it with you and share some thoughts on how to counter such a powerful aircraft carrier. Thank you all for joining me. I hope you all have a wonderful day.